everyone. Oh,
Welcome to Go Sage Yourself. I'm Tia.
and I'm Tamara. Wait, do I want to be Tamara?
Tamara was just as cool as Tia. They're twins.
I know, but I don't remember like what their deal was.
Me neither. We'll have to look it up for the next podcast.
Okay, but who?
I'm
I'm Heidi,
Jinx. I'm Samantha.
and I'm Heidi
And welcome to Go Sage Yourself. This is a podcast where we dive into spirituality while also being a little bit unhinged.
because that's who we are.
Exactly. So today we're going to be talking about perspectives. But first, we we need to sage ourselves, obviously, the name of our podcast. So Heidi's taking out the sage stick right now, and she's going to explain a little bit for those who don't know about what it's like to go sage yourself and the meaning of our podcast.
Yeah, so here I have some sage. So before we get started, it's our little ritual. And basically, sage helps to clear our energy and like give you a little bit of a fresh start. So I'm gonna sage you, our listeners. I'm gonna sage us, and I'm gonna sage um
Space.
our space. Yeah, our energetic podcast space. So here we go. Oh, look at that smoke. It looks so good today.
It does. Where's your feather where you like feather it
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Here. I got this feather in Peru when I went on my spiritual pilgrimage instead of rehab.
off?
Story for another podcast.
And sage is also the meaning of a sage is someone who imparts a lot of wisdom. So we're going to call upon the sage powers of wisdom to help us with this podcast and also make it funny and entertaining for you.
Yeah, so let's take a deep breath together now that we're all sage. So if you are somewhere where it's accessible to close your eyes, you can do that. And we're going to take a deep inhale through the nose, fill up. Exhale through the mouth, let it go.
All right, are you ready to get unhinged?
Ayo, let's go. So, Sam, what's your intention today for our podcast?
My intention today is just to explore a little bit more about perspective shifts and to just have fun with you and help others to shift their perspective more easily in the world while just having fun.
Yeah. I think
You?
my intention is to help people understand how, like, their patterns from their childhood and adolescence are shaping their current situations and, like, what it can look like to expand their perspective based on their knowledge of what happened in the past.
Yeah, I mean, we don't see what they say. What's that quote that's like, we don't see through our eyes, we see.
Oh, I think you do.
We don't,
You
oh, I
see
remember
through
it.
your nose? I'm
Okay.
confused.
We don't see things as we are. We see things as they are.
No, that is definitely not it. Oh, but I think I know you're talking about like we don't see things the
As
way
they are,
we as
but we
they are.
as we are.
Yes. Okay,
Yes.
that's
So
good. Okay.
sometimes we have to put in some contact lenses or some rose colored glasses. Or in my case, if I learned a really amazing trick lately where
Did you
if
get LASIK?
I did,
Yeah, so
if you use yellow tinted glasses when it's raining, literally see everything.
wait, you don't see the rain?
Well, you see the rain, but you can see through the rain. It just makes it brighter. So you know those moments where it's so rainy
Yeah, it's so
and
scary when you're driving.
yeah, so all you have to do is upgrade your lenses to these yellow glasses, my
Wait,
friend,
why don't they make all windshield what is that called? Windshields on the car yellow.
because you don't need it all the time. So that would be a little too bright because it basically brightens it up.
But what if there was a button you could press like yellow mode?
Tesla, are you listening?
But yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, we're going to go back, but that's just a
Hmm.
perspective shift. Also, it's like
Yeah.
one of the questions I love to ask is what else is possible or how can I see this differently? And
Yeah.
that just invites in the energy of creation and of new things that might come in just by exploring, getting creative.
I
So,
love
today,
that. I think that what else is possible also speaks like to the curiosity piece, which I think is so important for people, is if we stay curious about what's next, what's possible, what's the lesson here, what is this here to teach me, then we have an opportunity to change our perspective and live from a different place.
Yeah. So what are some of the questions that you ask yourself? You said we mentioned what else is possible. We mentioned how can I see this differently? You also mentioned what is this here to teach me? Is there any other things that you like to take a look at when you're in a frustrating situation where maybe you can't see the perspective that you want to, or that might be more helpful?
I think those are my main ones. I just try and see like what's the lesson here. And something else that I think is also so helpful is like Hella says this, my
Oh,
girl. Hella, you know, Hella and Lucas.
no, but shout out to them so they can listen to our.
You know them from Awaken,
Oh, right. Yeah, I do know them.
the song that I sing all the time. 11, 11, closer to heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah. She says, what a pleasure. Like shifting the perspective of things that are uncomfortable and hard. Like, what a pleasure. Like, you
I
hate
just don't
that.
know that I'm there. Like in a moment where like someone like does something, or like let's say I get an offender bender or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I just can be at the point where I'm saying, what a pleasure that this happened.
Well, I think like that's goals, right? Like in the moment, you use your tools, you take a breath, you use your resources to meet your where you are in that moment, right? Like you have this window of tolerance and you're at the top when you're facing a situation where things are really hard for you. And so first you have to resource yourself enough to be able to stay in that window of tolerance or build the capacity there to feel a little bit more uncomfortable. So things like using your breath, or sometimes I do butterfly taps on my chest, or I always
So you're like
like
sitting there when in like a moment where you might have a fender bender and you're like meeting. Hi, what are
Yes.
you doing? I'm just doing my butterfly
No,
tap so I can
you
like get through this moment.
yeah, you got a resource. When I'm teaching yoga and I'm like really nervous, I always like find myself I have a hand on a part of my body like to help me feel grounded in my body. So I think like yeah, and no, you're gonna look like a weirdo and like I think that's fine. The other day, my friend gave me this shout out to Brooke, gave me a vocal tone recording to do from Open, the app. And I was in my car outside of the yoga studio like this. Oh, oh, like I thought I was in an opera. And but it felt so good to do that vocal tone and I got like so much out and then I felt super grounded and ready to go in and teach my class.
Well, I just want to put in there like playing devil's advocate is really about, we're put on this earth to feel all the different emotions. And so
Yeah.
sometimes I like to feel that moment where I'm like, wow, this sucks. This is really frustrating. Like, fuck this,
Yeah.
and then get to the point where I'm doing the butterfly tap. So I
Right.
those moments that are invitations to
Yeah.
grow, it's real like for me, it's really important to actually feel the opposite first so
Yes.
that then I can just kind of like drop in to the point where like, okay, now I'm ready to
Yeah.
shift this. But first I want to like just be pissed.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, but I think so many people, like speaking of perspectives and like the patterns we've taken on from when we were younger, I think so many people dissociate and have left their bodies already at that point. Like the minute the hard thing happens, I'm out. And so I think for some people, you need to resource to get back in your body to feel those things. You're not resourcing to then be like, oh, okay, like everything's great now. Like I'm awesome. You're resourcing. You're re
Butterfly tap.
I love the butterfly taps. Oh, you're resourcing so you can stay with yourself and meet that emotion and say like, "Hey, you know what? This fucking sucks and I'm going to stay with you right now and I'm just going to be here and tap and be here and move my eyes back and forth or be here and feel the chair beneath me and whatever your strategy is in that moment." But you're right. Like the strategy is not to resource in order to like move on with your life and just be happy again. The strategy is there to help you stay. But I think
Okay.
so many people have like right away because when you're younger, and this is like speaking to that pattern piece of how you see the world now and your perspective, is that when you were younger, you developed all these patterns and strategies to help you keep safe because you needed to feel love and you needed to feel connection. And some people like needed to get even fed or continue to like be able to stay in their house. Like that's serious. And so for that reason, you may be like had to leave your body right when things got hard so that you can stay in that place and have dinner that night or feel loved by your mom or whatever it is. And so now when little hard things happen now that aren't maybe that as serious as they were when you were growing up, or don't feel as serious, then you go straight to those coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
And so that's when you need to help yourself stay with those uncomfortable feelings and use those resources to show your body, like, I'm in a different place, I'm an adult, and I can take care of you now.
Yeah, I think that well, they call those like the imprints that,
Yeah.
where did you learn sadness? Where did you learn anger? Where did you learn frustration? And somewhere along the lines, you either watched it or you saw it. But I will say a really funny story that happened to me, which I like to often use humor, and so do we on this podcast and
Yeah.
just in general, to really just kind of like shake things up. And so the other day, I was driving with Evan and he had
Evan is her husband.
yes. And he had to get around this like huge car that had this like pole coming out of it. And we were like, no. And I'm usually more of like cautious driver. I'm just going to like go really slow. And he was like, no, we have to get around it. So he was driving really fast and I was like freaking out. And I was like, and he's like, tap, tap. And he starts tapping me like, all the different places and
Like
starts
EFT.
like, yeah. And he's like, you're okay. You're okay. And I started hysterical laughing because he's not the type of person who is going to tap, but I'm always telling him like, just tap or just do some deep breathing. And he was like, you need to do that right now. So I think little moments like that where we're just, you just start laughing at the silliness of the butterfly tap or the tapping in general. Like, even though those are really helpful tools, sometimes they're really funny tools. Like, who came
Yeah.
up with this? Like, what is this? And I think that really helps me to get more in my body and realize like,
Well, I think that's also a shift in perspective. Like you're in this one state of sadness or frustration or an elevated nervous system state. And then if you bring humor in, you're able to shift your perspective because you're shifting your state. And then from that state, you can expand and open instead of what your body wants to do is contract. And I think the biggest way we change our perspective is by staying open when things are uncomfortable, because then we're able to see what's on the other side, which is a new way of seeing things. So
hey,
like
yo.
so like this was a story that I love, that is this man asked like, who's the most wealthy person that you know? And he said, oh, this guy makes $100,000 a year. That's the wealthiest person I know. And he said, well, let me show you something. I have a guy here and he makes $100,000 a month. And the guy was like, "Oh my gosh, wow, I didn't even like know that was possible." And then he said, "And let me show you something else. Here's a guy that makes $100,000 in a week." And he said, "Oh my God, I like never even thought that was possible." And then he went on to show someone who made $100,000 a day and $100,000 an hour. And so it's like you don't even
Who's these people making $100,000
wait,
an hour?
literally. And also, can I have that job?
So if you make that shout out, contact our podcast so we can figure it out. We want to do that on the podcast. Talk to
Yeah.
people. What are you doing?
Yeah. So
We're not.
like that's right. No, but that's how you expand your knowledge base and that's how you expand your perspective is like you don't even know what's possible until you know what's possible. And so staying open and having your heart open, even when things are hard, allows you to create space for those things to come into your life and those people to be able to have those conversations with people and open up your perspective.
Yeah, it reminds me of something I learned where I was in this NLP course and they were talking about understanding the way that different people do things. So one of the questions was, okay, who here likes traffic? And actually, like, I like traffic because
What?
yeah, I do
Why?
because it gives me an opportunity to slow down. It gives me an
Mhm.
opportunity to really be patient. And so that was what the goal was, is to raise your hand and understand the process of how someone's perspective helps them to like something, or helps them to like the person who is making the $100,000 per month. Like, what are you doing? How did you get there? Like, what do you tell yourself every day? Like, just understanding and getting curious, as opposed to,
Yeah.
I think sometimes I notice people like really, or like, is that possible, or getting jealous or angry, or all these natural feelings that humans do,
Hmm.
but instead getting curious about asking those type of people, not only how they got there, but like what are their attitudes, what are their perspectives? Because those are all programs they're just running that work really
Right.
well. So what if you tried on that program and saw how it worked for you?
Yeah.
So I think that's really interesting. I wanted you to tell us about the kitten story
Oh,
that
yeah.
you have.
So I was listening about this research that was done on kittens. Meow. Remember our kitten Muffin?
Yeah, I loved muffins.
We
So
found her outside and
we
then we
named
brought her in.
yeah, we named her Muffin because I loved muffins, and she ended up being a very interesting cat.
Well, I think you killed her with by letting her eat.
Letting her eat Cheetos.
Yeah, literally I would walk in and she would be in the Cheeto bag, like licking licking the
Like
whole.
Cheetos. What
Did
am I
she?
I heard Cheeto, right? Yes, she was in the bowl in the
Because she was eating red dye 40 and she was probably addicted to it and then she got a brain tumor.
okay, that's not true because they were baked Cheetos with natural ingredients.
They
That's
were not,
all
you think
Patricia
that?
would buy us.
I think that was one of the things you snuck from CVS Moss
That's right. No, she bought us those baked Cheetos. So I
because
think
they were
muffin is
baked.
fine. Muffin.
Okay, so back to the kitten research. So they took these two groups of kittens, and for the first 6 weeks of their life, they one set of kittens, they only showed them, they were in a dark room, but only showed them horizontal lines. That's the ones that go side to side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other ones, they only showed vertical lines up and down. And then after 6 weeks, they took both sets of kittens and put them in like a regular environment. And the set of kittens that only saw vertical lines could not like jump up on anything because they couldn't see like a horizontal line for to jump up on. And the other kittens who only saw horizontal lines were bumping into everything, all different
Did they
furniture.
put them in the same rooms together?
Yeah, I think
So the
so.
kittens, some kittens were like literally bumping in, and the other ones were trying to jump up and down.
I
Video of this?
I wish that would be so
They
fun.
should, that there's no proof without a video.
Okay, I'll call
If
the
anyone
research
has,
company.
you should. We should look up the video and find it because that would be the
Okay.
funniest video.
But the point of the study is that we are really shaped by the things that we see in our childhood, adolescence, up until the point we're at. So, like like you were saying about the programs you're running, what programs are you running that are allowing you to see your life in this certain light right now? And how can you shift that so that you can be open to the possibilities and be able to manifest and attract things that you want to bring into your life? Because if you're running a certain program and can only see horizontal lines, but what you're trying to manifest is a horizontal table from Africa, then you're never going to get that special table from Africa because it's a horizontal table and you can't see horizontal lines.
Wow. Okay.
So
Yeah. I mean, that
you're
makes
welcome.
sense. I also want to add to that.
Did you just say that makes so much sense?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. So I also want to add to that just really about I really love slogans. And one day I'm going to create this thing called Slogan Fest. Shout out to anyone who wants to help me. We're
I'm
gonna
sorry. Wait, I need to hear more about Slogan Fest.
Slogan Fest is where each stage, or I haven't really like fully created, but I love slogans and I live by them. And I have so many,
Like
which
bumper stickers, you mean like?
just like like one of the ones I was going to talk about is move a muscle, change a thought. And like other things like let go and let God, or like time takes time. Like a lot of them are recovery sayings, but a lot of them I just kind of made up or found along the way. So don't worry, listeners, you'll discover a lot of them. Or like the one I said the other day, emergency from the,
Oh.
just a lot of slogans. So
So
it's
they're quotes.
they're slogans. So the
What's the difference between a quote and a slogan?
quote is longer and a slogan is really accessible. Slogans are also can be acronyms so that you can just kind of it's something you can grab really easily. Like think about it. If I'm like having a hard time and maybe I say to myself, move a muscle, change a thought, it's really easy for me to do. Where if I'm like thinking of a whole quote of like,
So a slogan is a short quote, in your opinion.
yes.
We're gonna have to fact check that, but carry on.
Okay, so anyways, so one time Evan and I were at a Fish concert because we really like the band Fish. So that's one of our things. And we went for a 4-night run. So that means that every day was a different concert. And so every
Oh,
night,
it doesn't mean you went on a run.
no, we didn't go on a run. We went on a run because they go one after the other.
Okay.
So, anyways,
Continue.
every night we had a different seat. And it was really interesting to see the perspective change from every different
Mm.
seat. One night we were on the lawn and the lawn was more spacious and everyone was dancing around and you could like move to different positions and you were really far from the music. So you weren't really focused on like the actual musicians. You were really just focused on the music and everything like that. And the next night we were in the seats and we were also on the right hand side. So you could see one musician like specifically and you were looking at what he was doing
Mm.
and you were sitting in the seats and there were people really close to you and you got to know those people because you couldn't really move and you had a different experience. And then the next night we were actually up close. We got a standing room where we were like literally up close. And in that moment, we could see some of the mistakes that the musicians were making. And it was
Hmm.
really interesting because they were just going with the flow. And even when they would make a mistake, they would laugh. And then I think the last one, no, maybe it was only 3 nights. Either way, it doesn't matter. But the point is that every time we move to a different position, we actually have a new shift. So there's
Mm.
something that is really cool in NLP also called aligning perceptual positions. And what
Hmm.
that means is a lot of times when you're stuck in something and you're really having a hard time, like maybe someone's done something and you just are really frustrated at the actions that they're taking. A lot of times if you act, you're stuck in first person. And so you're only seeing from your eyes. But if you
Yeah.
actually step out and step into their position, what are they thinking about you? What are they thinking in that moment? So you start to take a look at like all of those responses. And then if you step into the third perceptual position, it's almost like you're watching these two people
Mm.
on a TV screen. It's like, okay, so what do you see now that you see these two people interacting? Like, what
Mm.
is going on? What's the pattern? What's the experience? What's happening in each one of them? And then the fourth perceptual position is rising above everything and seeing from a bigger system of like, okay, so how does this, so in shifting whatever is going on here, how does that affect the whole? What is this really the lesson of everything that's
Hmm.
going on? Because when we rise, everyone rises. When you sit there and you actually shift something that's really big that's happening, most of the time, because of what you're focused on, the vertical or the horizontal line, you're
Yeah.
actually going to start to see that shift in your circle and then beyond. So I
So
think
how do people take that shift? Like it's so people get so caught up in the first person. Like what's like one small, simple step that someone could take if they bring I would say like first to like just bring breath to pause and be aware that, oh my gosh, I'm in the first person. But then like what's that next step where they could eventually go to the second, third, or fourth perspective?
I think just realizing that the perspectives are there. So as you
Mm,
like stop and take a deep breath, you might want
yeah.
to then say, okay, so what might this person be thinking?
You know
Or
who that's really hard for? Autistic people.
okay.
Just
So
so you know.
yeah, well, I mean, that makes sense. And so I think even just becoming aware of the fact that if you have that experience and you're dealing with autism or some neurodivergence, then it becomes really exploring what does work for you. So maybe it's just really, like I said, like move a muscle, change a thought. So it
Yeah.
becomes like, okay, so I'm really stuck in this. What happens if I think about this when I'm at the beach? Does that change something? What happens when I think about this and I have a hand on my heart? Does that
Yeah.
change something? So really becomes about, it doesn't necessarily have to be you moving, switching even to the second person, but what happens when I move the energy in the
Somewhere else.
experience and how does that respond to what I'm experiencing so that I can move a little bit in the system?
I love that. So basically, like it's awareness and curiosity.
Yeah, and having fun with it. So it
Right.
becomes like, I would even just say, what happens when I like tickle my armpit?
Oh, you have hair in your armpit?
No, I don't. I did laser and it's
I
I
did too, but do you ever get like, because now I never shave my armpits, and then once in a while I'll see like one long hair there
I've
that's been
seen that
growing for
on,
months.
on your hair. I've
You've
seen that.
seen my armpit hair?
Yeah.
But and don't you want to just like pluck it out
No, I just want to go back to the laser place and just fix it.
to
So
that one for that one hair?
yeah,
I
I don't
don't
need,
think do you think they'll let you?
and they do. They have a package.
Okay.
Anyways, so we're getting back to it, but yeah, I think just having fun with it is going to be the key. So in that segue, I want us to play a fun game that will really create some laughter in
Okay.
our own experience. So the game is called Spiritual or Just Delulu. And so
Yes.
And so what we're going to do is I'm going to say some moments and maybe you'll say some moments too. And we're going to vote if that's spiritually aligned or a Delulu, but we love them.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll start the first one.
Okay.
I saw 1111, so I quit my job. Spiritually aligned or Delulu, but we love them.
I think Delulu, but we love them.
Why?
I 1111 is my number. And
Me too.
so like if I was already like wondering if I should quit my job and while I was thinking about it, I looked up and the clock said 1111, I would quit my job.
So it's not Delulu then. It's
Oh, did
spiritually
I say
aligned.
the wrong one?
Yeah, you did. So it's spiritually aligned.
Yeah. 1111 is always spiritually aligned for me.
I think it's Delulu, but we love them because I think you should literally just quit your job, but maybe you should take that as a sign to start exploring other jobs so that you can actually have something else set up before you just quit your job and tell them it's because I saw 1111.
But when you jump, the net appears.
That's true. Okay. So another one.
Okay.
The the bowl broke, shadow work is complete.
I do not understand what you're saying right now.
Like a bowl broke, so now your shadow work is complete. Like if you were like something you were working through that was really like heavy and a bowl breaks, the shadow work has been completed and you can move on.
Spiritually aligned only because like it's like when you have a bracelet, remember those like red bracelets that we got, like the evil eye bracelets, and then when they fall off, um and so I also have a friend who like after a deep breathwork session, her bracelet fell off, and so I feel like that is like a completion of a cycle or something that's like ready to move on, and so that work is complete and it's time to move on to the next layer.
And I think it's spiritual line too. And have you heard that process called kigurumi or something like that, where you take, it's probably not called
That's a
that.
Disney character.
I think it's a Sanrio character.
Oh, remember Sanrio surprises?
I do. So, anyways, what they do is they take the bowls and they put them back together and they glue them with this like gold.
Oh, it's called Hakukami or something.
I don't think so, but
Yeah. Walkie Walkie,
it's so either.
where they put the gold.
Yeah, and so then it
Yeah.
becomes something even more beautiful. So I'm
Wait,
one.
can you say it? Because we didn't say it the right way. No, I don't care what it's called, but say what they do because I cut you off.
Oh, so basically they take the pieces that have broken and they put it back together, but they use this gold like glue or paint or something to be able to put it so that when you look at it, it's something even more beautiful than it was before. So it's almost like allowing the light to bring things back together and realizing that sometimes it's even more beautiful when there are cracks in it.
I wish I remembered what that was called.
So you can look it up. So here's another one. My kid yells
Okay.
at me, so obviously he's processing generational karma I cleared for him.
A Delulu.
So Lulu too. How about
Those,
how about I listened to my crystals and they told me to order sushi?
I mean, that I think is spiritually aligned.
I remember when your daughter was little and she would say like "Ah, bah, bah, bah," and you'd be like, she wants blueberries.
Yeah. Okay. Is that bad?
So did she, but how do you know that? She didn't even speak English.
I speak the energy of the language of energy, Samantha.
Right, that makes sense.
But I
Okay,
think in regard to the crystal with the decision making, I think decision making is so hard. And I think that something that I've been pondering a lot lately, which maybe we'll have to make a podcast about, is like decision versus indecision, and also like not knowing yourself enough or being in your body enough to like know what you actually like. So that's something that's starting to for the past few years like come online more for me to know what I actually want. So I do think it's helpful to like sit with a crystal or a tarot deck or whatever to help you make decisions, even if it's just about dinner.
just like you channeling the trees for their past lives.
Yeah.
So I keep seeing frogs, which means a money portal is opening. I think so spiritually aligned.
Are frogs related to money?
I think they are because it's like those
Oh,
like
that little green frog in the Chinese stores.
yeah, and when mom and dad, I don't know about that, but my mom and dad used to have this portal and they would go Pachi
That
Mama.
wasn't a portal. That was
Oh, that was
uh,
an altar.
the
And they like
mesa.
table. Yeah. And so they would do that. And I think there was a frog on there for the money. And they
Yeah, I
had
actually have one too with the little coins. Yeah. So
yeah.
what Sam is referring when our parents, I don't know, maybe like their third trip to Peru, they came back and they were like, okay, guys, like now we do this mesa table. Like on Sunday nights, we would go into their room and they had this table. And on the table, there was like north, south, east, and west. And there was like different things representing each of the four um, things. Like Pachamama was the earth, Huarachocha, right?
Cha cha.
Inti,
Yes.
right? And Kihi, no, that wasn't it. But it
Okay.
was like basically like wind, water, air, spirit, and then like all of it together. And then we would like pray about something, and then we would like receive from the Mesa table and from spirit and the universe. I did it for a long time by myself. Did you? Did you have a table?
No,
You didn't?
no, but Evan has this really like this picture in our house. Have you ever seen it? It's of like a guide. I forget what his name is right now. But anyways,
Juan Carlos?
no, that's the Peruvian guide. Um, I forgot what his name is right now, but anyways, it's literally just this man, um,
Yeah.
this like shaman man, and he has a picture framed in our house. And we don't really have like that many pictures. And so everyone comes in and they're like, who is this man? That's like, we don't have it like on an altar. We just literally have it like framed in our house. And people are always like very confused by that. Anywho, okay, let's do our last spiritually aligned or delulu.
Okay.
I saged my phone after scrolling Instagram. Spiritually aligned or delulu?
Honestly, I think we should all start doing that.
Go sage yourself. I
Yeah.
think it's delulu. I mean, if you're scrolling Instagram and then you need sage, like what does that even do for your I like
Energy knows no bounds. So I feel like you're severing the tie between your doom scroll and like getting back into the real world.
basically everything is spiritually aligned. I have one more. I staged my suitcase after flying on Spirit Airlines. I think
Uh,
that is spiritually aligned. I don't know if you ever flew on Spirit Airlines, but one time I
No.
literally flew on Spirit Airlines, and there was this woman, and she's in the middle of going up into the air. She's like walking up the line or up the aisle, and they're like screaming at her like, "Get in your seat, get in your seat," and she
Oh
just
my.
like keeps walking. I think she didn't speak the language, and so she didn't understand when you were supposed to sit down.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I've
I think
not
you
been on.
really need to sage not only your suitcase, but also yourself.
Oishka, loishka. That's a lot.
So is there anything you want to add before we close up this podcast today?
Um, I just want to say that if you are in a place right now where you're feeling a little stuck and you're not sure where to go next, that to bring a little light and a little consciousness to your perspective and see where you can bring awareness and curiosity into that space and see where you can stay open and expansive to change your perspective.
Yeah, I love that. And I think I'd like to just add to really ask yourself when you're stuck in certain situations, where's the possibility here? And really allow yourself to ask what else is possible, even if you don't know what that is yet, so that you can open to the universe showing you some other things like, is it spiritually aligned or is it Delulu? And I think from what we experienced today, most of it is spiritually aligned, whether it's Delulu or not. So,
So true.
so this is Sam and Heidi signing off. Just don't forget that you can always go sage yourself.
Bye, friends. We love you all.
Bye.